All right, Blues. City take on Bournemouth in a novelty 3 o'clock kickoff this Saturday. Quite a tough fixture, one that you'd expect City to win quite easily, but both sides ravaged with injury. You'd expect Bournemouth to come at us, really. It's one of those games.
Yeah, Chelsea will be hoping that City do them a favour by beating their mid-table rivals, Bournemouth. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game. Both teams were ravaged by injury. City missing Aguero and Silva, but of course they're missing their main man, Tyrone Mings and Callum Wilson. I think obviously huge losses for Bournemouth.
Yeah, right. Well, let's go through the team we expect City. Well, not expect City going to put out because we have absolutely no idea. Joe Hart obviously plays in goal, and then Kolarov, we think he's still going to be injured. Kelechi's still going to be out, so we have no recognised left back.
Yeah. So I mean, we've had this chat a minute ago, didn't we, about how surely any fullback should be able to play at left back at this level. Bakary Sagna, he's been in form all season. Yeah. If he moves to left back, that gives us a lovely excuse for Pablo Zabaleta to come back in the team.
Yeah, Zabaleta played for Argentina and he did quite well, got a clean sheet. So you'd expect he's back to full fitness. So Zaba goes in at right back with Sagna at left back. I won't disagree, unless Kolarov's fit, in which case you'd play him, but sure. I don't know if he will be. Back two, this is another interesting one because Kompany played for an hour again for Belgium. Otamendi played 90 minutes for Argentina. Mangala played for France. So who gets in that back two pairing?
To be honest, I'd like to see Otamendi and Mangala play again. I think they, have an understanding back in the day at Porto. Yeah. I'd like to see them come into City and get a little bit more game time with each other, figure each other out. Personally, Kompany and Mangala is my preferred pairing at centre back, but Kompany doesn't seem to be able to stay fit this season.
Yeah, I think
it would be great to have a recognised pairing that we can kind of fall back on.
Yeah, I think I'd go for Otamendi and Mangala. I know Kompany played for an hour, but we don't want to rush him back because we know the danger of doing so. Yeah. Like you said, Otamendi and Mangala, striking up a partnership. It's nice to have two partnerships. So we've got Kompany and Mangala, Otamendi and Mangala. So
well, there are very few teams in the league that can boast that, if any, that they've got multiple partnerships to choose from. And why Otamendi is clearly a very talented centre back. Yeah. All right, against Tottenham, he flapped a little bit.
We need to get him involved. Like he needs to learn. And
I think the choice that we've got, Kompany or Otamendi. Remember, our days when the only defender we had was Daniel Van Boyten.
Boyata. That's all we need to say about that one. Right, we're going to keep the same formation before you all ask us. So two in the middle, where you'd expect to see Yaya and Fernandinho, but I'm going to throw a curveball and say Yaya won't start because he's fresh from a knock. And I think we might be looking towards the Seville and United games.
Yeah, let's keep him fit. We've got three massive games. Bournemouth, I said this the other day, Bournemouth I think is a must-win game. We've got to be winning that. But also because of the ability we've got. Sevilla is going to be one of our best chances to get 3 points in the Champions League. Yep. And the United games, obviously, it's the United game. So you want to keep Yaya fit for Sevilla and United. And the depth we've got, Fernando this season has come good. And I think let's throw him out there. Let's do it.
Fernando and Fernandinho. Right, definitely. Cool. That's our central midfield partnership. Without David Silva, I think there's only one man for the number 10. That's Kevin De Bruyne. Scored again for Belgium. He's just awesome. So I think that's a no-brainer. And then Nasri, I think, is going to come back into the equation. But do we go all-out pace, especially with the lack of Aguero? Do we go Navas and Sterling?
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Nasri, I think, is a very different player to Navas. But also, if we're going to have KDB down the middle, we're not going to need someone to kind of unlock the back four. Yeah. I think Nasri's been cut a hard deal. I think he's a player that is still one of the best attacking midfielders in the league. Yeah. And would walk into most sides on his day, would walk into most sides. So it's a shame that we can't get him involved. He doesn't seem to have done anything wrong.
Yeah. There's always the option that De Bruyne plays on the right with Nasri through the centre. So we've got that option as well if we want to.
I think with Kevin De Bruyne, what we've only ever seen at City as well is him at 7 out of 10 because he's been on that right. And to unlock his true potential, he's got to go down the middle. And that is really, really exciting.
I think as well, if Silva's going to miss the derby, we need to get De Bruyne used to that number 10 at City just because we know that if he gets to that 9 out of 10 where he's heading towards with his form, if he can hit that against United through the middle, then it could be dangerous. Okay, here's the big one. No Aguero leaves us with Bony or Kelechi up front. We're looking towards the Seville and United game, as well as this Bournemouth game. Let's just make this clear. We're not being complacent. We're not taking this game as a win for granted, but we need to plan ahead.
Definitely. And I think, as well, it seems that I personally think Wilfred Bony should start.
I do.
I think we're going to need someone who's good. Bony can do the business. He's got 28 goals in the Premier League in 12 months. He's capable. But we've never given him a proper run. I think Walter said that Bony's played 16 games, but none of them have really been...
You can't actually remember them being like together. Just bit part.
They've always been on 20 minutes here and 30 minutes there. It'd be great actually for Bony to use this to get 3 or 4 games. You know, he's probably going to have several chances against Bournemouth. Hit the back of the net, go into the Sevilla game with a little bit of confidence. Bang a goal there. That'd be awesome.
People will say Kelechi should start and whatever because of the form he showed, but we haven't actually seen much of Kelechi. What we have seen has been great. But I think in these games we need to get Bony fit and firing, and then Kelechi comes off the bench for half an hour, lets Bony have a rest between these games. I think it's all good.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've got a nice team. There's a Hart, Zabba, Mangala, Otamendi, Sanya, Fernando, Fernandinho, KDB, Navas, Sterling, and the big Wilfred Bony.
Yeah, let us know your team predictions in the comments below. Before we go, let's look at Bournemouth's injuries. You said their record signing Tyrone Mings is out. Callum Wilson, unfortunately, for Bournemouth and for England and just for the Premier League, he's out for what looks like the rest of the season. Big loss because he's their top goal scorer. And then Max Gradel, who is a very, very pacey player, one of their best signings, he's also injured. So that's a good thing for City. But key man that I've picked to look out for is Matt Ritchie, who's king of scoring ridiculously good goals. Great player, great Scottish midfielder. So we need to look out for him. Their away form's been strange.
I'm not sure you could call Matt Ritchie a great player.
A great Scottish midfielder.
No, he's very talented, and actually he's the sort of player that City tend to trip up against, and someone that can suddenly produce something from 30 yards, and that when then City go 1-0 down, and then we're chasing shadows because Bournemouth lock us out. Eddie Howe as well, manager, what he's done there is great, and clearly a great manager.
Big fan of Bournemouth actually, just as a whole club. Their away form, they've played 4, lost 3, won 1, but managed to score 6 goals in those 4 games. So they have got goals in them, so we're going to have to be careful. But let us know your team predictions in the comments below. Do you agree with our 11? You probably don't. Let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you've enjoyed this longer preview. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you soon.